There is a place on Earth that seems to defy the usual rules of geography. The highest mountains on the planet continue to rise every year. Rivers fed by snow and ice sustain hundreds of millions of people. Arid deserts, tropical rainforests, and fertile plains all exist within the borders of a single country. Looking at a map, it almost seems impossible that all of these features belong to the same nation. But that is only the beginning of the story of India. More than 1 billion people, speaking hundreds of languages and following different beliefs and traditions, have lived together on this land throughout thousands of years of history. How did that become possible? The answer begins long before the rise of empires. When the land itself was still shifting and massive mountain ranges were continuing to shape the destiny of the entire subcontinent. The air is so thin that every step feels heavier. Snow-covered mountain ranges stretch as far as the eye can see, while below them lie barren valleys with almost no vegetation. Ladakh sits at an average elevation of more than 3,000 meters and is one of the highest permanently inhabited regions on Earth. At first glance, this place looks more like a desert than the source of the waters that sustain hundreds of millions of people farther south. Yet the paradox is that this entire landscape was shaped by water and by oceans that disappeared long ago. About 50 million years ago, the Indian tectonic plate collided with the Eurasian continent. The floor of the ancient Tethys Ocean was forced upward, giving rise to the Himalayas. That process continues to this day as the peaks keep rising by several millimeters each year, making this one of the few places on Earth where geological changes on a planetary scale can still be observed in the modern era. Mountains rising more than 7,000 meters do more than create a spectacular landscape. They have also shaped the routes connecting South Asia, Tibet, and Central Asia. For centuries, merchants and pilgrims crossed these rugged mountain passes, carrying goods, beliefs, and knowledge between lands separated by thousands of kilometers. Farther to the north, the landscape changes abruptly. Golden sand dunes stretch across a vast valley. Double-humped camels walk across the sand while snow-covered peaks rise just beyond them. This is Nubra Valley, where meltwater from glaciers has created fertile strips of land between rock and sand, allowing small communities to survive along the trade route that once carried silk, spices, and precious stones across the Himalayas. Yet even that is not the most unbelievable sight. Farther east in the mountains, Spiti appears like a world beyond Earth. Bare cliffs stretch for dozens of kilometers. During winter, temperatures can fall below -30 degrees Celsius, and snow isolates many villages for months at a time. Within this harsh environment, geologists have discovered marine fossils at elevations of more than 4,000 meters. Seashells resting among the mountains provide clear evidence that this entire region once lay beneath the ocean before it was lifted upward by the collision of continents. In Ladakh, Nubra, and Spiti, geology is not something confined to textbooks. It is present in every layer of rock, every valley, and in the way people have adapted to these extreme conditions. Yet the real story does not end in the mountains. From the glaciers on the roof of the world, rivers begin a journey that stretches for thousands of kilometers. As they leave the high mountains behind, they spread into vast plains and create the foundation for the civilizations that would emerge farther to the south. In the morning, turquoise water reflects the steep mountain slopes. Suspension bridges sway gently in the wind as pilgrims cross from one side to the other. Far upstream, the snow-covered Himalayas are still clearly visible on the horizon. This is Rishikesh, where one of Asia's most important rivers has just emerged from the high mountains. What makes this remarkable is that its journey begins among rock, ice, and extreme elevations. Yet it helps sustain one of the most densely populated regions on Earth. Flowing for more than 2,500 kilometers before reaching the Bay of Bengal, the Ganges provides water to a basin that is home to about 400 million people. Throughout most of human history, very few river systems have had such a profound influence on people's lives. But its impact goes far beyond sustaining human life. For many civilizations, a river is a natural resource. Here, it is also deeply connected to faith and everyday life. A river that begins in the Himalayas not only nourishes farmland, but also remains at the heart of religious rituals that have continued for centuries. As the river leaves the foothills, the landscape opens into the vast plains of northern India. In Haridwar, thousands of lamps are set afloat on the water every evening during the Ganga Aarti ceremony, turning the river into a flowing ribbon of light through the darkness. Along with the water, layers of fertile silt are carried downstream with each rainy season. Over thousands of years, this process created one of Asia's most fertile agricultural regions, allowing settled communities to grow on an ever larger scale. Farther east, Varanasi emerged along the river more than 3,000 years ago and is considered one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. More than 80 ghats line the riverbank, where faith, learning, and everyday life blend together with almost no boundaries between them. Few places on Earth bring life and death so close together. As the sun rises, pilgrims step into the river to pray, while funeral rites continue on the ancient stone steps nearby. Over the centuries, cities expanded, populations grew, and trade continued to flourish. Across the plains enriched by this river, prosperity gradually took shape, leading to the rise of major cities and the first centers of political power. In the middle of a calm lake, a gold-covered sanctuary reflects light from every direction while a steady stream of people continues to arrive from early morning. Yet what gives this place its true significance lies beyond its walls. Every day, the community kitchen in Amritsar serves about 100,000 free meals without regard to religion, social status, or background. In a vast land with countless differences in language, faith, and community, it stands as a powerful example of generosity and human unity. But much of the subcontinent's history was shaped by powers pursuing a very different goal. Ancient forts, tombs, and watchtowers stand within a mega city of more than 30 million people. The marks of many centuries exist side by side in a single place, making Delhi the clearest reflection of the changing powers that shaped northern India. For more than 1,000 years, successive dynasties chose Delhi as the center from which to govern the country. The fertile plains of northern India, major trade routes, and the gateway to the northwest all converged around this region. As a result, it repeatedly became the target of those seeking control over the northern part of the subcontinent. As the centuries passed, Delhi was constantly transformed. The city expanded, was rebuilt, and changed again. While beneath its modern boulevards still lie the remains of many capitals that disappeared long ago. If Delhi is closely tied to the struggle for power, then Agra preserves how empires wanted to be remembered. Along the banks of the Yamuna River, the white marble dome of the Taj Mahal gradually changes color as the light shifts throughout the day. The monument was completed in 1653 after more than 2 decades of construction, drawing materials and labor from across the Mughal Empire. Many people know the Taj Mahal as a symbol of love, but on a larger scale, it also reflects the resources, wealth, and ambition of a power that once controlled most of the Indian subcontinent. That prosperity did not last forever. The farther one moves away from the plains sustained by the great rivers, the more another reality begins to emerge. What happens when life must adapt to an environment where water becomes the most precious resource of all? Toward the northwest, the green of the plains gradually disappears. Rocky ground and sand replace the fertile fields, while hot, dry winds constantly reshape the landscape, covering about 200,000 square kilometers. The Thar Desert is one of the harshest environments in South Asia. Instead of abandoning this land, people found ways to adapt to it. Jaipur is known as the Pink City. That color dates back to the year 1876, when the entire city was painted to welcome the Prince of Wales. However, color is not what allowed the city to thrive. Founded in the year 1727 during the reign of Maharaja Sawai Jai Singh II, Jaipur was one of the earliest planned cities in India. Its carefully organized streets and marketplaces allowed trade and daily life to function efficiently in an environment where water was always scarce. But urban planning was only part of the answer. In this dry land, Udaipur followed a different path. Known as the Venice of the East, the city grew around artificial lakes built centuries ago. Lake Pichola, created in the year 1362, is part of a system designed to collect and store rainwater for the local community. The palaces reflected on the lake usually capture everyone's attention. Beneath that beauty, however, lies the achievement of generations who made water management the foundation for the survival of an entire city in a semi-arid region. Farther to the west, the colors of the landscape change once again. Amid the golden sands of the Thar Desert, Jaisalmer rises like a mirage. Founded in 1156, It is one of the few forts in the world where people still live within its walls. More than 3,000 people still call those sandstone walls home. For centuries, caravans carrying silk, spices, and precious stones passed through here along the routes that connected the Indian subcontinent with Central Asia and Persia. Rainwater harvesting systems helped the community survive in the desert. Trade, in turn, made Jaisalmer one of the most important stops on the transcontinental networks. But even the desert is not the most extreme landscape of the West. The golden sand gradually fades away, giving way to endless white. Covering more than 7,500 square kilometers, the Rann of Kutch is one of the largest salt deserts in the world. During the dry seasons, a thick layer of salt stretches across the land as far as the eye can see. When the monsoon arrives, much of the region turns into a vast, shallow body of water, where the boundary between the earth and the sky almost disappears. Amid this harsh environment, the Ran Utsav festival brings music, light, and local culture into a landscape that seems to hold nothing but wind and salt. And as the silver-white plains slowly fade into the distance, another sound begins to emerge. It is no longer the wind of the desert. It is the sound of waves from the sea. Every year, the monsoon winds over the Arabian Sea change direction twice. For thousands of years, sailors relied on this pattern to open sea routes linking India with East Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, and the Persian Gulf. Along with spices, cotton, and precious stones came beliefs, technologies, and ideas that constantly moved between civilizations. Few would imagine that present-day Mumbai was once just 7 small islands off India's western coast. Over centuries of land reclamation and port expansion, those islands gradually merged into one of the largest cities in Asia. More than 20 million people live here today. But Mumbai's importance is not defined by its population alone. The city stands at the meeting point of major shipping routes, investment, and communities from many different parts of the world. The Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, continues to operate alongside modern financial districts. The Gateway of India has faced the Arabian Sea since 1924. while the Koli fishing villages continue a way of life that existed long before the skyline filled with high-rise buildings. Mumbai is also the home of Bollywood, the film industry that produces more than 1,500 movies each year. From trade and finance to popular culture, the city reflects how the ocean can reshape the destiny of an entire region. Along the same coastline, the rhythm of life begins to slow down. If Mumbai moves at full speed, Goa follows a different rhythm. From 1510 onward, this region remained under Portuguese rule for more than 450 years. Whitewashed churches, red-tiled roofs, and spice markets still preserve the traces of centuries of cultural exchange. Yet outside influences never replace the local culture. Instead, they gradually blended together to form a distinct identity expressed through architecture, cuisine, music, and everyday life. Many coastal communities continue to preserve local traditions while European influences remain part of their surroundings. From ships sailing with the monsoon winds to thriving seaports, India's western coast shows that the country's history has never unfolded only on land. And as prosperity continued to grow through maritime trade, new centers of power also began to emerge farther inland. Set among massive granite boulders and the Tungabhadra River, Hampi feels like the last memory of a civilization that once ruled southern India. In the early 16th century, it served as the capital of the Vijayanagara Empire and ranked among the wealthiest cities in Asia. Merchants from Persia and Europe described crowded markets, magnificent temples and trade networks that stretched across the Indian subcontinent. Today, more than 1,600 monuments remain scattered across an area of about 4,000 hectares. The Virupaksha Temple Tower, rising more than 50 meters high, still stands beside the river as a reminder of an era that came to an end after the Battle of Talikota in 1565. But what makes Hampi truly remarkable is not only what has survived. As the sun sets, the granite boulders take on a bronze glow, and the vast landscape gradually falls silent. In that moment, history seems not to have completely disappeared, but to linger in every stone. Farther south, the legacy of India's royal dynasties still lives on. As night falls, nearly 100,000 lights illuminate the Mysore Palace, turning the entire structure into a glowing golden landmark at the heart of the city. Completed in 1912, the palace reflects a blend of Hindu, Islamic, and European architecture. Under the Wadiyar dynasty, Mysore grew into a major center for the arts, Carnatic music, silk weaving, and sandalwood craftsmanship. Throughout the 10-day Dasara festival, the streets fill with grand processions, musicians, and elaborately decorated chariots, continuing a tradition that has endured for centuries. The city is also home to one of the oldest yoga schools in India. Amid modern life, Mysore has preserved the elegance and quiet confidence of a historic royal capital. More than 2,500 years have passed, yet life around the Meenakshi temple has never stopped. Rising nearly 50 meters above the skyline, the temple's 14 gateway towers are covered with thousands of colorful sculptures. Every day, tens of thousands of pilgrims walk through corridors filled with the scent of jasmine and the sound of temple bells. Once the capital of the Pandya dynasty, Madurai also became one of the birthplaces of Tamil culture, poetry, and trade. Markets selling flowers, spices, and silk continue to thrive around structures that have stood for centuries, creating a rhythm of life where the past and the present are almost impossible to separate. The journey south is not over yet. The land gradually narrows before giving way to the sea. Connected to the mainland by the Pamban Bridge, which stretches nearly 2.3 kilometers. Ramswaram sits on an island only a few dozen kilometers from Sri Lanka. According to the Ramayana, this is where Rama began his journey across the strait to Lanka. That legend remains deeply woven into local life, to the point that some offshore coral formations are still believed to be traces of the legendary bridge. Inside the Ramanatha Swami temple is a corridor stretching for more than 1,200 meters, lined with endless rows of stone pillars. Millions of pilgrims continue to visit every year, making this island one of the holiest places in Hinduism. Amid the salty winds from the Gulf of Mannar and the powerful storms that have repeatedly swept across the Tamil Nadu coast, Rameswaram continues to stand as a place where legend, faith, and everyday life still exist side by side. But to the southwest, a completely different India waits beyond the cloud-covered mountains. There, water is no longer something people must search for or store. It is present almost everywhere. Moist clouds from the Indian Ocean are constantly blocked by the Western Ghats, bringing abundant rainfall that nourishes one of the greenest regions of the Indian subcontinent. At an elevation of about 2,200 meters in the Nilgiri Hills, Ooty emerges among mist-covered slopes and the scent of eucalyptus. Once a hill station for the British during the colonial era, the town still has a distinctive character. With its stone houses, gardens, and the Nilgiri Mountain Railway, which began operating in 1908. The train moves slowly across bridges and through tunnels between lush green hills, revealing how the landscape has shaped life here in its own way. But Ooty is only the beginning. Farther west, Munnar stretches across the highlands of Kerala, with more than 24,000 hectares of tea plantations covering its rolling slopes. Since the late 19th century, its cool climate and abundant rainfall have made it one of India's most important tea-producing regions. Every morning, mist drifts through the valleys as tea pickers begin their work, just as generations before them did. Once every 12 years, the Nila Kurinji flowers bloom, covering the mountainsides in purple and transforming the entire plateau into a rare and unforgettable sight. As the hills gradually descend toward the sea, water begins to shape life in a different way. In Aleppi, a network of backwaters stretches for hundreds of kilometers through lagoons, canals, and narrow strips of land along the Kerala coast. For centuries, Kai, these waterways connected villages, markets, and regions that produced rice and spices, making boats just as important as roads. Behind rows of coconut palms, houses stand close to the water's edge, while wooden fishing boats return at dusk with the day's catch. Life here follows the tides and the waterways more than the roads on land. The water is not always peaceful. Every year, the Nehru Trophy Boat Race transforms these canals into a vibrant arena, where snake boats stretching for dozens of meters race forward to the cheers of crowds lining both banks. Continuing along the Kerala coast, the waterways finally merge with the open sea. At that gateway, another city awaits. From the snow-covered peaks of the Himalayas to the tropical shores facing the Indian Ocean, few places on Earth contain such a remarkable range of contrasting landscapes. Deserts, rainforests, plains, plateaus, and wetlands all exist within a single country. Perhaps that is why India is one of the most difficult places in the world to define. It is not a single landscape. It is not a single culture. It is many different worlds existing together within one nation.